It's self-care, people. You just have to buy books sometimes. Hello friends, and welcome to another video. Today I want to show you guys the books that I purchased in the last couple of months. The main reason I wanted to do this book haul video is because I also bought a couple of special edition books, and I just absolutely go crazy over these special edition books. I mean, they look so gorgeous. Most of them have sprayed edges and also character art. Seeing as I'm a structured person, I wanted to organize this video, so I decided to organize all the books that I bought in categories. Look at me being all organized after a year on YouTube. I know, yeah. First up, I'm just going to show you two books that I really wanted to buy. Then we're going to go through the special edition books. After that, I'm going to show you guys the books that I got in my book boxes, and last but not least, my highly anticipated books. Well, they're not anticipated anymore, but you know what I mean. I don't know if you guys can see this because I have a humongous head, but I am wearing new earrings that I bought, and I like these so much because one of them is a little moon and the other one is a little star. How cute is that? I'm gonna stop talking now so we can actually get to these books. And if you like these kind of videos, then don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you never miss another video of me again. Let's get started. First up is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra, Clare, and Wesley Chu. This one comes after the first three books in the Mortal Instruments, and we follow Alec Lightwood and Magnus Bane. Tiny spoiler, Alec and Magnus ended up together. They are in a relationship now, and this book is all about their adventures together. Their first up is Paris, and once they get there, they find out that there is a demon worshipping cult called the Crimson Hand that is apparently founded by Magnus Bane years ago as a joke. So that's kind of where the story starts off, and it's just really action-packed, but also with an emphasis on their relationship. So far, I am really enjoying this. Next up is The Court of Miracles by Kester, and let me be honest with you guys, I bought this book because of the way it looks. It has a beautiful cover, blue sprayed edges, and wait till you see the naked cover. Do I need to say more? I mean, come on. So this is basically the reason I bought this book. It is a special edition from Waterstones, and I have absolutely no clue what it is about. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, so it says, this beautiful reimagining of Les Miserables tells the story of your favorite character and what might have happened if the French Revolution had not come to pass. So apparently it takes place in the year 1828, and there are 9 guilds, it says at the back, so I think this figure represents the 9 guilds: thieves, beggars, assassins, gamblers, mercenaries, smugglers, prostitutes, opium eaters, and men of letters. Sounds intriguing. It's a fantasy book. Can't wait to read this. I also bought 3 audiobooks that I was really excited for. I am kind of on an Outlander rush, so I'm reading all the Outlander books, or at least I'm listening to them, and I bought Drums of Autumn, which I finished and I gave 5 stars, and I also bought Fury Cross, so that is the sequel to Drums of Autumn, and I'm currently listening to that. And then I also bought a mystery/thriller that was the best book on Goodreads in 2019, and that is The Silent Patient. It is about a male psychologist, which I think is really cool because I'm a psychologist as well, and he is talking to a woman who is a patient in a clinic who allegedly killed her husband, but she doesn't talk much or doesn't speak, and he is the one that tries to find out what really happened. I'm not sure if I made that up partly or if that is really what the story is about. Anyway, it sounded really interesting. Next up are these special edition books that I bought, and I'm so happy with these because they are absolutely gorgeous. This is a duology, and these books take place after the first 3 books in the Grishaverse. I can't wait to read these because I really enjoyed the trilogy, but what I'm most excited about is that these are collector's editions. Not only do you get a beautiful shiny cover, sprayed edges, but there is also character art. I haven't read the book yet, so I don't know these characters, but we have Cash, Ines, Nina, Matthias, Jesper, and Wylan. And of course the same goes for Crooked Kingdom. So this time we have a beautiful gold cover with black sprayed edges, And again, character art for the same characters, but a very different style. Cass, Ines, Nina, Matthias, Jesper, Wylan, and Kauai. I also bought this gorgeous edition of Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is a 10-year anniversary edition. The Infernal Devices are a trilogy inside the Shadowhunter novels, and this is the book that I'm gonna read after the Red Scrolls of Magic. And you might have guessed, this book also comes with character art. Tessa Gray, Jem Carstairs, Jessamine Lovelace, Henry Bramwell, Charlotte Bramwell, Will Harrendale, Sophie Collins, and Gabriel Lightwoods. I don't think I'll ever get bored of buying special edition books. I mean, this is just, I love these kind of books. Seeing as I was buying all these special edition books, I thought, why not go for another? So I decided to purchase A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I know that this is a fantasy trilogy about magicians. I heard a lot of good things about these books. And it is about parallel versions of London. Apparently there's a grey London, which is dirty and boring without any magic. Then there's red London, where there is magic. White London, a city slowly being drained through magical war. And once upon a time there was Black London, but no one speaks of that now. It just sounds really magical and one of those books that I'm probably gonna love. And again, character art, and the naked cover looks beautiful as well. Next up are the books for my book boxes. First up is How the Penguin Saved Veronica by Hazel Pryor. This came in a Once Upon a Book Club box, and it is a contemporary. I already read this book, so if you're interested in the book review, I will leave the wrap up in the info cards. The main character is an 85-year-old woman called Victoria Macready, who one day decides she wants to research penguins. She leaves for Antarctica, and there she meets the penguins. And while there, she also meets up with her grandson Patrick, and that is probably all I can tell you guys. Also, I really like how the cover looks because it's just really different and quirky. Another book that came in my Once Upon a Book Club box is The Last Piece by Imogen Clark. This is a family-centered novel that is about Cecily, who has 3 daughters, but then one day she leaves for Greece. Nobody really knows what's going on, but Cecily's there on an important mission, you might say, to find her last piece. And once she gets back from Greece, she has to talk to her family about this. Again, I already read this book and reviewed it, so if you're curious about it, I will leave that video up in the info card. To be honest, I'm hanging on to this for now, but if I am going to do another book on haul, this is probably gonna go. This is a book that came in my Fairy Loot box. It is Forest of Souls by Laura M. Leigh, and I was just really blown away by the cover of this book. I think it looks really dark and fascinating somehow. I also love that it is an Asian inspired young adult fantasy. It also has a reversible dust jacket, which I think looks gorgeous. I already read the book. Didn't really like it. It is going to be in my September wrap up, so if you want to hear my thoughts on it, you can watch that in the near future. Another Fairy Loot book is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, and if you've seen my August wrap up, you know that this is my new favorite YA fantasy book. I absolutely love this. So not only is this a gorgeous edition with sprayed edges, but it's also a really good story. This is an African inspired young adult fantasy, and our main character is Deka, who lives in a small village. There's this ritual, and if your blood runs red, then you are accepted by the village. If your blood runs gold, then you're an outcast and a demon, and you should leave immediately or they kill you. And of course that happens to Deka, and somehow she escapes the village and she becomes part of the Gilded Ones, which is basically an army. This is a pre-release, so this book isn't going to be released until March 2021, but I highly recommend this book if you are into YA fantasy. Next up is another book that came in a Fairy Loot box, Shielded by KayLynn Flanders. This is another young adult fantasy book, and the main reason I really want to read it is the cover, because for all you gamers out there, it reminds me of Final Fantasy, and that's a game that I absolutely love. Apparently the book is about the kingdom of Halendi and this badass princess Janissara, who knows her skills on the battlefield, but her father has other plans for her, and on her way to her betrothed and her new home, the royal caravan is ambushed. And then the final book that I got in one of my fairy loot boxes is Star Daughter by Sveta Takrar. Probably not pronouncing that correctly, but this is another gorgeous edition. I mean, this young adult fantasy is inspired by Hindu mythology, which sounds really intriguing to me. It takes place among the stars and the constellations, so the main character has a celestial family that calls on her for a certain mission, and then also she needs to save her dad. So not only does the book look great, the story is also really unique. The last two books that I wanted to share with you guys are my anticipated releases. First up is The Faithless Hawk by Margaret Owen, and although I gave the first book, The Merciful Crows, 3.5 stars, I really wanted to buy this book. You follow this group of hawks who are the lowest in the caste system. There's a really elaborate caste system in this world, and they have bow magic, and they also pick up corpses that died of the plague. There's also mammoths, there's a gay prince. It's just really nice world building, and I really like the aesthetic of the covers and the way that every chapter begins. Also, every good fantasy book has a big map. And the last book in my book haul is Fable by Adrienne Young. I just really love this cover, and the reason I bought this book is because I saw the Bookish box, but they don't do international shipping. They chose this book for their book of the month, and when I read the description and also checked it on Goodreads, I was just really interested in the book and I wanted to buy it, so I did. The book is about a 17-year-old girl called Fable, who is the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows. The sea is the only home she has ever known. Somehow she ends up on an island filled with thieves and little food. She has to survive, and it's just a spectacular journey filled with romance, intrigue, and adventure. So yes, another book that I can't wait to read. Those are all the books in my book haul. If you have any recommendations on which book to read first, then please leave it in the comments down below, because my TBR pile is growing. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and let's stay in touch.